Okay, that's great. Great information. So hopefully you guys can use that information and get out there and network and build relationships, as Alicia just said. How's my Facebook Live family doing? Everybody good? Like we're all in all different directions here. So our next segment is the Have You Heard segment. And because this is a visual show, we try to promote, of course, promote the music, but we also want to show visually through music videos what artists are doing. And it's my way to kind of expose you to artists that you may not normally know or see. So last week, my guest, Eva Bittersweet, is a DC area artist. She recently did a collab with Brian Christopher and Dawood Saeed, which are two very well-known artists, musicians in the area. Yeah. Amazing people to work with. And out of that was a song called I Feel Free. And this is the video, so check it out. yes. Again, that was I Feel Free. That was produced and a collab with Brian Christopher and Dawood Saeed, and that was Eva Bittersweet. So, again, support your local artists. It was great,
yes,
right?
Fantastic.
Yes. Now, so who is Alicia Glover? Now, I know Alicia Glover.
You know me from back in the
From
day.
way back. As a matter of fact, even before I digress. Before even going into this bio read, even like the very first time I wanted to start promoting shows, remember?
Oh my gosh. Remember the CFE?
Yes. CFE with Nia and
Yes.
it was you, Pam,
Yes.
Toya,
Yes.
Rona.
Oh my gosh. Tamika.
Tamika.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
That
goodness.
was so long ago.
I know.
That was like what? 11, 12
It's
years ago?
scary how
Oh my
fast time
goodness.
is going by.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about who you are, but again, let's go into the bio because there's some things I definitely don't want to miss. So you're coined as a divine muse by some, Seattle native. You've always been inspired by the fine arts since the tender age of 6. You participated in a myriad of choirs and bands as both a vocalist and musician. Now, here's the thing. Now, you see I highlighted some of this in red because I wanted to make sure. I didn't want to read the whole thing, but stuff that I really wanted to make sure. Now, it says you consider yourself an alto, but for me, what I most relate you to is Minnie Riperton. And Minnie Riperton, how many octaves is that? I don't even know.
I don't even know.
I'm like, how in the world
I
can you
don't know.
consider yourself an alto belting out Minnie Riperton?
Probably because that is the most comfortable voice for me to sing in, and it's a comfortable range, and that tends to be that's my natural range. That Minnie Riperton thing is all that false.
Yes,
that falsetto.
but
It's
you
really
do
weird.
that so naturally.
It's really weird.
Oh
Yeah,
my
thank
goodness!
you.
And you know what's funny? So a couple of years ago, remember, you were performing at Bowie at the park, and I was at a rehearsal. I was going to a rehearsal.
Yes.
And I was like, you was hitting Minnie Riperton. And I was like, wait a minute, I know that voice. I know that sound.
You were in the neighborhood over.
I was, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Wasn't even at the park.
Yes.
I knew that voice though, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. I need to do a Minnie Riperton tribute.
Yeah, yes.
Like a full Minnie Riperton tribute show.
Brentcore Entertainment. You heard it here first.
But she's really not that easy of an artist to do.
No, she's not.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely not. That's why when you say alto first,
I might need to pray on that.
I said, wait a minute. Yes, and you know what's even a greater blessing is that after all these years, you can still hit it, because
Yeah.
our voices change,
Yeah.
and you still hitting it strong.
It's
So whatever it is you're doing,
I'll have to work
Keep
at
it.
it. I have to work at it.
okay, your vocal style bears resemblance to that of various genres of music, including jazz, acid funk, gospel, rock, R&B, and pop. Throughout your vocal career, you've gained experience arranging background vocals, serving as vocal director, vocal coordinator, and musical director, and performing live with several bands and vocal groups. You've opened for Rashawn Patterson, 702, CeCe Peniston, Regina Bell, Mickey Howard, the list goes on and on and on, to name a few. And in addition, you've been sought out by many artists for your background vocal assistance. You've coordinated and sang backs for national acts such as Howard Hewitt, Mickey Howard, Melba Moore, Gene
Yes.
Carn, a living legend, Herb from Peaches and Herb, Allison Williams, Ann Nesby, and Dorothy Norwood. You appeared on the renowned Showtime at the Apollo. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. As amateur night contestant, currently you serve as the vocal coordinator for several Washington, D.C. area vocalist musicians, as well as both a co-founder and lead vocalist for the dynamic female funk trio, Pink Polish.
Pink
Polish. Hey, look. So you became a recording artist, and I didn't know this, in 2000 with your inspirational project, Collective Inspiration Ensemble.
Yes.
On their debut album, Jesus is the Word. In February of this year, you released your first debut single, yay, entitled Brother Sister, which is available for download from online stores and music streaming sites around the world. In July 2017, this month, you became a publishing contributing author in a women's compilation project, and we can show that picture real quick. Volume 3, entitled Through It All, I'm Still Here. Her story from past to purpose is one of transparency and victory that is sure to rouse all readers. So it says you play, and I didn't know all these other instruments. I knew one, but you play alto sax, tenor sax, mellophone. I don't even know what a mellophone is. We'll get back to that. Since grade school. And here, this is important. All her life, Alicia has been a fixture in music ministry. She currently serves as choir director. And now has branched off into life coaching since 2015. Your main purpose or focus is full potential achievement, conflict management, and leadership development. She uses her music as a vehicle to reach people, to touch, inspire, and empower, all within earshot. You are purpose-driven and believe that every person should maximize the potential of every known area of his or her gifting for the purpose of reaching, uplifting, and encouraging others. For only what you do for Christ will last. Yes. So, and then this last tagline, although often unsuspecting, Alicia is sure to leave a memorable impression that will cause you to instantly note the difference. Man, you see why we need more than an hour? I tell you, yes, ding,
That's
ding, ding.
a lot.
It is a lot.
Oh my gosh.
You know, when we talked, you was like, I'm writing books and life coaching, and I was like, my goodness.
That's a lot.
It
I
is,
might need
but
to sit down
it's
somewhere.
all good stuff. No, because you know what? So here's the thing. It's like, at what point, because we had a conversation when I called and asked you to come on the show about, that moment when you realize that you can achieve your goals and your dreams. Before you reach that moment where you realize that not all you have to do, because I'm not going to minimize it by no means, but when you realize that it's about having a vision and then being strategic and moving towards that vision, even with baby steps, you reach those goals eventually, and then with each milestone that you reach, you become more empowered and more anxious to get even more done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So at what point did that happen for you?
Probably within the last 5 to 6 years. I went through a transition in my life, and it was a thing of, you're in your mid-30s. You've experienced a lot of things in life, and it's time to take care of self.
Right.
And in a particular season in my life is actually where I discovered coaching. I have a day job. So in my area of work, I work in law enforcement, but we do a lot in the area of social sciences, social work. So when I was on the floor, we dealt with a lot of, people, the defendant population and whatnot, but it was always in the capacity of helping people. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do. Not because I just woke up and was like, hey, I want to help people. It's just what I'm always doing. I'm the person who they stop in the office and, you want an ear. You want to talk about something. You want a different perspective. You want advice. And I'm like, well, what in the world is this? And I was like, well, counselors do this. I'm not about going back to school. I'm over that. So it's like, I don't want to go.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I feel you, honey.
Oh my God.
And you know what's so funny? I think of you often when it comes to going back to school. I'm not doing that. So,
just like, I'm just, but let's not even go there.
Right. So I was like, I don't want to do counseling. And then I was like, I know how it felt when I was working with the population. It can be draining a lot.
Yes.
And so I was like, and I don't want to be a counselor and be the person to have to take that in a lot. So I was asking some friends, and I came upon coaching. And I was like, coaching, what is that? When I learned about life coaching, I said, people pay for this? I was like, I've been doing this for free all this time? So that's when I began my quest to start getting to a place to be able to monetize that, which is where I am still working toward getting consistent in monetizing that. So it was my walk. It's what I walk in. And one day I heard somebody say, if you're always doing it and you're walking in it, then that's what you need to be doing. And so my thought process was then, if I'm walking in this and I can do this, there has to be a way for me to be able to make some sort of a living off of it. And I believe that with anything. People pay for anything.
Yeah, that's
Oh, my
true.
goodness.
That's true. And it's about connecting the dots. So it's like
Absolutely.
your dots started to connect. You're like, wow.
Yeah, and that's pretty much and even I began to going through transition. I began to be more sensitive to people and to needs. I began to be more aware of diversity. I went through, and I talk about this in the book. We'll talk about it later. Went through a phase of really valuing who I was and who and what I had to offer. So I had to deal with approval addiction, doing things for other people,
yes.
because you want approval. Well, my perspective is when you do that, there's something missing. So I had to deal with issues of low self-esteem and feelings of inadequacy. So I had to go through a lot of things. And the reality is I'm not the only person who deals with this and who has dealt with this. So that's important to me because now that I realize how much abundance there is in life, and I'm content with everything not being okay, but I'm in content in my state of life, and somebody else out there deserves to be able to see the happiness that life has to offer, and getting over the issue or getting over the hump of the low self-esteem, those types of things. That's just one more layer we can peel back, and you can begin to walk in whatever it is that you want to achieve. Just appreciate the small things in life as opposed to just living under a cloud of darkness.
Yes, which can be draining.
Yeah, and you don't even know it. Wow.
You don't know it. You don't. So now, how do you? And I know I'm kind of skipped ahead, but we're just gonna go with the flow.
That's good.
So so in terms of like with the music aspect, and then the marriage between music, your musical career, and then your career as a life coach, how are you marrying the two?
Music is and will always be a passion that I have, and I wanted to when I decided to pursue it and make it a profession. I wanted to make it count. And we all know music is therapeutic, so that's a given for us. And for what I'm trying to do, I don't have to work hard in that area because music is therapeutic. I even struggled at times with my sound and how I sounded, and I had to accept the fact that there were people who heard my voice, who appreciated it, and who liked it. So I was like, well, I need to like it. If it's making a difference in the lives of people. There have been many occasions to where I've done a show, I've done an event, I've done a party, and someone will say, what you did touched me.
Yes.
Someone will say, your voice, took me to a place. And then oftentimes it turns into a mini coaching session. We're off on the side somewhere, just talking about life or whatever.
Right.
So a lot of times, when I say my music is a vehicle to reach people, my gift is God works through the gift.
Right.
He's going to do what he does through the gift. And then that gets the attention of people. Am I here trying to save the world? No, I'm not, because I can't do that.
Right.
But if I have contact with you, and when we walk away, if there's something that you've gained out of that contact, then that's what makes me happy, or I feel that I've done my job. So I even try to have a message in the music, which is why I chose to remake the single that I chose. It's
that's a good segue into the question. Yes, and then so in terms of your decision to cover Brother Sister, how did that come about? Because I didn't even know the song. I'm ashamed to admit, but I just didn't even know it before.
I don't know if you remember, we did an event at the Holiday Inn on C Street years and years and years ago. It was an Edge event. I covered that song.
With was Marquise in that show?
I think he was on that show.
Yes.
I think he was on that show. We had like a zillion background singers.
Yes.
I covered that song. It's always been a favorite tune of mine. Then you're talking, when the song came out in 1993, I think we did that show sometime in, 2000, 2002. I wasn't thinking about the message in the song. The message was cute, it was saying something, but it didn't become real and impactful until I got to the season in life that I got to.
Right.
So then it really meant something. And, I was like, the day I get to record and do this and that and the other, I want to make sure this is a song that I cover because it really means something now. And that's how I ended up covering the song. So I already liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now in terms of with your project, are you currently working on a full CD project?
I am.
Okay.
I'm working. I have a couple of songs that are written. We're getting ready to marry those with some tracks, and the album is called The Rebirth.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, this is a new season in life, so it's a rebirth.
Well, you seem so happy. I tell you, you're always happy though.
Well, I choose,
But you know what goes on behind a smile sometimes.
honey. But smiles are infectious.
They
and,
are.
And you know, I think we can choose to take control of some of the discomforts that we may experience. You know, so smiles are infectious. I had to get to a place to get here.
Right.
I
right.
had to just get here. So. Yeah.
And so, and then we have to also mention though, sometimes you have to go through those trying times though to get you through, so that you can be, you know, a testimony to someone else.
Sure.
And and to be relatable.
Yes.
Because how can you relate to people if you haven't really experienced it? You can go by how you think you would feel, but unless you've actually lived it and felt it, then it's hard to really relate.
Absolutely.
So I get it.
Absolutely.
Now with the Rebirth Project, I like that name. Are you going to play? Are you going to do a solo of any of the wind instruments that you play?
So let me tell you about these instruments. First of all,
Yes.
Let me tell you about these instruments. My first instrument was the trombone. I played that instrument in the 6th grade, never to touch it again. So if anybody reads the bio, it says she has played. Somebody asked me, I was on a gig one time, and a musician said, I had some other background vocalists, and a musician, he said, which one of you all are a horn player? And I was on a gig with one of my girlfriends, and she said, her, Alicia, and I looked like, and so I think I carry that with me. I've carried that over into singing. I've actually had a couple of musicians friends who have offered and who agreed to help me build my confidence back up to be able to start playing. But again, we all have those areas where we're kind of like, man, these guys will eat me up. And what I'm not doing is getting out there and looking stupid.
But it's just a matter. It's just a matter of practicing. You got the basics.
Yeah. If I picked an instrument back up, it would be my horn, which I still do have. I still have it, and every now and then I'll get on it and kind of mess around with it.
Yes, I would love to see you play.
Oh my gosh.
Because I remember from back in the day, back when you were helping with like doing the back vocals, the vocal arranging. I mean, you know, you have an incredible ear.
Thank you.
So, and that definitely helped out, but I never actually saw you play. We need to take a quick break, real quick. Let's do a quick commercial break, and we will come right back and find out more about Miss Alicia Glover. Yes, I was having not a wardrobe malfunction. Something was in my eye. I was like, I'm sitting here blinking all crazy. Might be like, what's wrong with that girl? So we had to take a quick break. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. I know we are. We're having a good time reconnecting and catching up. You know, it's a shame had to have you come on the show to catch up.
What's up with that?
Because you know what? We have a tendency when we see each other, girl, we got to catch up. You know, my favorite's crabs. We got to do some crabs. Let's get together. But,
Crabs.
Yes.
You know, I'm allergic to seafood. But I can still, I mean, I can go with you to get crabs as long as they serve a steak.
We got to figure out something else then.
Yeah.
Remember the picnics and the cookouts you used to have?
Yes, in the backyard.
Yes.
I know. Those took so much to put on. Okay. I should do one of those. We had a porta potty and everything.
And your
out
backyard
there.
is big. You can have a full band and everything. A concert.
Man, yeah.
I think, you know what?
It might be time to do something like that.
Yes.
We should do that at your house.
Oh, Lord. Oh. My yard isn't as big as yours.
Why don't we just go in your basement?
Chill. You don't want to go down in that direction. Okay, so let's get back to the rebirth. Let's get back. All right, now let's talk about collaborations. So can you share who some of the people are that you are collaborating with? I'm sure I have an idea of some folks, but share with the viewing audience.
Well, I have not identified any specific people. Much like you, I have some people on my mind. Yeah. Right now, I've just been working with Hungry Boy Productions, which is headed by Pete Chapman. Yay, Pete!
Pete is my musical director.
Pete's everybody's musical director.
Pete. I know.
I love him.
He spreads himself so thin.
I know. He's so amazing, though.
He is. I love him to death.
We love you, Pete. We love you, Pete. So, but it's funny, when I was driving over here, I've been tossing around a couple of names, a couple of people who I want to actually write for me. Mm-hmm. And then there's one person in particular who I actually want to arrange with. This is my first project.
Right.
And I consider myself a novice. I have no problem with eating humble pie in this, you know, and I need people to help me along. So, and I'm also learning the business behind it. I'm learning the culture behind it when it comes to recording. So I really have an expectation that, people give me assistance, not a demand.
Right.
But, through networking and developing relationship, I'm coming, and I make it very clear, I'm not here to try to use anybody. Listen, I'm gonna need your help. If it's bouncing questions or how does this work, and there have been a few key people who have been more than generous.
Right.
And just lending advice and lending assistance and documents and help and you all know who you are. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much for that. Mm-hmm. But I want to be, very, and I'm guarded. Mm-hmm. I'm guarded. So I want to be very careful about who I allow on and into the project, because once you're in and once you're on it, you're on it.
Right.
Right. And I want to make sure that everybody stays in a happy place. And happy place not meaning that there is no bumps in the road, but we've got to be able to work together and collaborate together.
Absolutely.
So, and I watch people. So before just jumping out there, I'm going to check you out before I invite you in.
Well, that's a good practice. That's definitely a good practice.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there are a lot of people that really want to work with you because you are a genuine person and very professional.
Wow.
Always known to be very professional.
Well, y'all let me know who you are.
Hopefully after watching this, they'll be reaching out to you. Definitely.
I love to work with anybody. I'm not married to anybody. Well, I'm not married to anybody, but I'm not married to anybody.
So let's talk about the collabs you sent over. I know I wrote them down, but please refresh my memory. I know DJ Yella was one of the collabs that you.
Both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
So when I released Brother Sister, and thank you to a huge help, Gwendolyn Collins, girl, I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. I was introduced to several radio families overseas and in Canada. Mm-hmm. And one family, big ups to Rosso Radio Live, which is who DJ...
Share the bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
Bing, bing. There you go.
DJ Yella is affiliated with, and all the presenters over there. You have Mike Lewis, you have Claude, you have so many of them. Lynch Elegance. I can't name you all because I just can't think of everybody right now.
Right.
But he reached out to me. He said, "Hey, can you lay some vocals over these tracks?" And I was like, "Me?" So I jumped right on it. And I'm like, I've never done this before. What? Okay, no problem. And so I had fun. I wrote some lyrics, and just kind of put it to the 2-track that he sent me, and we just went for it. And I said, Pete, we gotta lay this stuff down. He was like, what? I said, man, they're asking for stuff overseas. I was like, man, let's just do it. And there's a another another producer who I'm actually working with on one of his tunes as well. Work on that and get that over to him. So I'm just excited. I'm taking everything in.
Yes.
And and if I'm kind of like I don't know, I start going to some resources, say, hey, how do I do this? How do I approach this? What does this look like? What does this mean? So I'm just doing it.
Well, you're planting seeds,
Yeah,
which is a
absolutely,
good thing.
absolutely.
And you're not limiting yourself.
Yeah.
I had a guest on the show, Anita King, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Shout
yeah,
out to
Anita.
Anita, who she toured in Russia.
Yeah.
And, and that was just, someone had reached out to her through her website. And, how random is that? You have pedophiles and all kinds of crazy folk on the internet, so you just never know.
Yeah.
That to say, you just don't know who's reaching out to you.
Absolutely.
And so, of course you have to do your due diligence to check folk out, but you also have to be open to try new things. So, yes, okay, we're getting the finger. It's almost time to because we don't want to miss this live performance. We've been teasing the folk on Facebook saying we might do a live performance,
Maybe we're gonna do it.
Yay, we're gonna do it. Because we also want to make sure we come back and I want to talk more about the book. And I mean, we just got so much. How much time do we have in general? Oh, okay.
Oh,
all right.
okay.
Yes. Okay, so let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, the face you see, the voice you hear will be the beautiful Alicia Glover. She will be singing Brother Sister, her latest single, one of many. We're excited to get to see this live.
Yay.
All right, be right back.
Brother, sister. So y'all sitting at your computers or looking at your phones, just bob your head.
Yeah.
They're bobbing their head right here. Woo. Don't you let your young life get you down. It always had a certain mystery. Many changes come to everyone about the time that they turn 17. Grandma said, it's time to feel a sting. There'll be sharp turns and up hills and closed doors. Then she said, hold on to your faith. Know in this world you've got to go and get yours. So just stand up, be strong, go out there, hold on to the real things. that matter. 'Cause no one's gonna hand them to you on a silver platter. There's no need to feel you're on your own. Just let your intuition guide you through. Take one step toward what you believe. Don't be afraid to make you move. In my head, those words remind you what Grandma said. The time you feel lasting, there'll be sharp turns and uphills and closed doors. Then she said, hold on to your faith. Don't be scared, go out there. Just stand up, be strong, go out there. Hold on to the real things that matter. 'Cause no one's gonna hand it to you on a silver platter. Stand up, be strong, go out there. Hold on to the real things that matter. 'Cause no one's gonna hand it to you on a silver platter. Don't be scared, go out there, just stand up. My brother, sister, hold on to the real things that matter. 'Cause no one's gonna hand them to you on a silver platter. Stand up, my brother, my sister, hold on to the real things, oh, that matter. 'Cause no one's gonna hand it to you on a silver platter. Stand up, my brother, sister, hold on to the real things that matter. 'Cause no one's gonna hand it to you on a silver platter. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 'cause no one's gonna hand them to you on a silver platter. Thank you. Yes.
My goodness. Oh, I love that. I love it. Powerful message indeed.
Thank you.
I love that. I tell you, so you got to make sure once you finish, even when you're halfway through your project, if you want to come back and let us know how things are progressing and share your experience with us, then please do so.
Oh, thank you so much.
You are always welcome.
Wow.
Oh. All right, so now on to another side of Alicia Glover, the book. Let's talk about how did the collaboration for the book come about?
So I have a very good friend who lives in Chicago, and by the name of Bridget Darasuba, and she is on a panel of the Mutual Partners Association. Mm-hmm. And they are a nonprofit organization, and they're geared toward doing things for children, underserved children, underprivileged children. And so they, the association, hooked up with, I believe it's agaiниrise.org, mm-hmm. and came up with doing the Women's Compilation Project. So I'm in the 3rd volume, and the purpose of the project is for contributing authors to actually donate a story. And there's a fee for donating the story. It's $100, and we write a story, and the story is of triumph, inspiration, victory, and the proceeds go to activities, music, art, summer programs, after-school programs for that particular population of children. The scholarships for children to participate in certain programs in the fall. I think they're getting ready to help a couple of kids in the fall. And right now, they're focusing on children in the Chicago area because they're based out of the Mutual Partners Association is based out of the Chicago area. So I was like, yes, I couldn't do the first 2 volumes. I was just way too busy. So I wanted to get in on this particular volume, and I was just excited about, writing the story. And I was sure, and I was clear, and I was confident, and I was unapologetic about putting this message and putting the story out. And again, being able to share my experience with somebody.
So I guess we have to get the book to hear about your story.
It is available on Amazon.com right now.
That's right.
And again, all the proceeds that that you all spend for the book go directly to helping the children. The books will be available on my website, I want to say by next week.
Okay. And well, before we get into the how people can stay connected to you, before we end, from your hat as an artist, as a musician, as a life coach, as being an inspiration and encourager, and now as an author, if you had one great big piece of advice that you wanted to give an up-and-coming artist, let's speak to the younger generation, up-and-coming generation of artists now, what would you say to inspire and empower them?
It is okay to be who you are. Stay authentic to yourself and your gift, and always, always, always maintain a high level of integrity.
Absolutely. That's great. That's great advice. Yes. Okay, now we can tell folks how to stay. It's the set your mind, set your week quote. So now tell folks how they can stay connected to you.
So I am on Facebook, Google+, Instagram, and Twitter as NTD_Alicia, and that's ALISHA. So N as in no, T as in Tom, D as in dog, note the difference, _Alicia. On Facebook, I am Alicia NTD Glover. And on LinkedIn, I am Alicia NTD Glover, and my website is www.notethedifference.net.
Okay. So, do we have time? I want to know how did you come up with this Note the Difference? I like to hear that.
Notice the difference. Notice the difference. Again, goes back to being unique, and a phrase to accompany that is celebrate yourself. Celebrate your individuality. Note the difference. Notice the difference.
I like that. And then your part of the brand is the musical note.
Yes,
I like that.
Yeah.
You even with your mic, right?
Yeah, I was pressed.
See, that just goes. See, and you know what? It's just amazing. I don't necessarily comment on everything that I see, but it's amazing how people really do know what you're doing, and they do pay attention.
It is branding.
So yes, branding is important, and people are watching, and definitely I'm cheering you on in the background, and definitely get out and support as much as I can. Yeah. My face isn't out there as much as I would like it to be, because I tell you, I am spread in a gazillion different directions, but I'm trying to plant some seeds so that I can be a little more available. But yes, I'm definitely a very big fan, a big supporter, and wish you nothing but the best. Yes. Oh, yes.
You sis.
I know. We're going to get together. We're going to make it happen.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys for watching. Please make sure you follow Alicia as she embarks on her solo career. And got to get you back because I know Pink Polish is doing some stuff too.
Yep.
So I got to get you back with the group. You know, I told Robert Smoot when he was here last time, and that was over a year ago, that maybe almost 2. I tell you, time is going by so fast. Got to get you guys on. So definitely you guys stay connected and, again, get out there and network and show yourself and ask questions and build relationships.
Absolutely.
All right. So make sure you come back and join us next week. I appreciate you watching. Again, we're here on Saturdays at 5 o'clock. ListenVisionLive.com. Thank you, Kevin. Jay. Thank you,
Kevin,
Jay. Appreciate you. Hello,
for
my
everybody.
South Carolina family.
South Carolina.
Facebook Live, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. Make sure you come back and join us, all right? If you have artists that you would like featured on the show, please hit me up on Facebook, Indie Voice, or website, wendyrhicks.com. Would love to hear from you. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all. Mwah.
Oh, yeah. My life is a gift from you, blessed from heaven, that's for sure. So every day I live, give thanks to you. Oh, I haven't been perfect, and that's okay. And you still show love my way, yeah.
See, I would love to get to a point where we do like a 2-hour show, but that's gonna take some time. Look, we done shut stuff